Hello and welcome to Business at Citywatch. This is Michael. We're talking, of course, to people who are interested in business and getting their businesses started and keeping them up and running. And of course, you can reach us or give us a feedback if you like on any place that you actually listen to your podcast. We'd appreciate it. I am speaking at this particular time with Patrick Esposito of Initiative Labs and of Acme. And thank you so much, Patrick, for being with us on the program.
Michael, thanks so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Patrick is zeroed in right now on small and mid-sized businesses, companies that are interested in keeping themselves alive digitally, especially with regard to marketing and that sort of thing. So I'm going to jump right into it, Patrick, and we'll get to your background in a little bit. But tell me about how businesses, in your opinion, get on track with regard to digital marketing with all the ups and downs involved with that, both the organic and non-organic, and how to then stay on track so that they don't lose the momentum that they might manage to get a hold of.
Yeah, so, obviously I end up advising small and medium-sized businesses on a host of activities. And to your point, look, digital marketing and digital tools today are a core component of not just outreach, right, but of operations and, frankly, of growth. And one of the things that I've seen and part of what, sort of led to the book I had launching next month, The Structure of Success, was studying what helps small and medium-sized businesses to succeed and what is it that drives those businesses into headwinds or even at times failure. And, one of the biggest, obstacles that organizations face, right, is not selecting the right infrastructure to support growth, right, and scaling. And so to your point, Michael, when we're talking about businesses that are new or we're talking about businesses that want to grow, trying to determine what are the tools you need is obviously a big piece of that puzzle. There's, I'd say, about 8 core reasons why businesses tend to succeed or why they tend to fail, most of which are internal. But that infrastructure component, and I would put digital marketing in that, sort of infrastructure for growth piece. It's really one of the biggest reasons.
Now, is that a matter of them not advertising enough, advertising incorrectly, or not advertising properly?
Well, it could be all of the above, right? And so, when one of the things that I do in addition to advising is I do a fair amount of studying and a fair amount of assessment and do a fair amount of research, both looking at historical data and also talking to small and medium-sized business leaders. And so, while, the question around what's enough, right? What I would say is the first way to respond to that is there's basically 3 groups you can talk to determine whether you're not spending enough or you're spending too much, right? The first would be, your team that exists within your business, right? And how do they feel? What's the feedback they're getting from your second group, which would be, your customer base or the customers you want to have. And the third piece, what I kind of characterize as your security council, right? So if you're a small to medium-sized business, you may or may not have a formal, board of directors or, even a board of advisors, right, is in terms of governance structures. You may have, frankly, just friends, you may have family members, you may have professional advisors. Either way, I think going to those folks who you can trust to get the benefit of their wisdom for both how they are using these digital marketing tools and how frequently and what they're using is, I think, one of the best things you can do. So I think it comes down to sort of, 3 groups to kind of give you that feedback in the specific market you're in. And your team, your customers, and frankly, what I just started to call your security council, for lack of a better way to phrase it, right? The people who should help make sure that you're keeping your business moving forward.
Okay. All right. We're speaking, of course, with Patrick Esposito, and we're going to get right back to him as soon as we go to this. Business at Citywatch, the program that takes you through the ins and outs of business. If you'd like to start a business of your own, let us know at 310-291-2790. Okay, you're back. Business at Citywatch. I'm Michael, of course, and we've been speaking with Patrick Esposito of Initiative Labs and Acme. We've been talking during the first segment about advertising for your business, especially online. If you missed that, refer to the first part of this and go back to it. What we're going to do now is move through to the next stage. To me, the next stage with that kind of a marketing program, and again, we're staying with business sales and business marketing, is to make sure that you capitalize on whatever happens to come your way through the marketing process. And then take that and market in a better way using what you learned from that. Is there a process for that works best for you, and what would you tell people about?
Yeah, so I guess what I would say is there's a couple of ways that I think your marketing and your business development and sales activity should inform what your offerings are, as well as what your plan for the future is. So in my background, right, I've done a variety of technology startups as well as some services-oriented companies. Oftentimes, what I thought I should be selling is definitely not what we ended up selling at scale. So, listening to the feedback from the marketplace as far as how you ought to adjust those offerings, and also when you ought to really pivot from what you thought you should be doing and what may have been working to an extent, but maybe not driving the growth you wanted. Those are all, I think, data points that you can gather as long as you're listening, right? And I think that's something that oftentimes, right, when we are, perhaps over-caffeinated, hard-charging, type A personality entrepreneurs, we get into these modes of charging as hard as we can, and sometimes we don't always listen for all the signals that are coming. Could be coming through digital platforms, could be coming through face-to-face conversations, could be coming through other research that we're doing or things we think we might be seeing and experiencing with our partners and especially channel partners. And so, what I've found the best way to do that is to really have an organized process to look at the feedback and to have all of your teammates, whether it's management team members or your partners who are helping you to deploy your offerings to market, or your advisors, right, your security council, have all of them help to sort of take a look at what are we hearing in the market, what are the signals that we're seeing as far as we're on the right path. What are the problems that we're hearing from our customers they would like us to solve that we aren't solving and others aren't either, right? And that's really where, you can generally find a lot of opportunities for growth. So, I think to your point, in the age where we have so much data that could potentially come to us, organizing that data in a way that we focus on, solving problems, in the context of our capabilities as an organization or capabilities we could build, that's really what's critically important. And to organize that data in a way that we don't just have it sitting there and go, gosh, I've got this great stack of feedback here that I could reference at some point and try to figure out what I ought to prioritize. Right. But regularizing the analysis so that you can end up fine-tuning your business offerings to really meet the need that your customers and the customers you want have, and you can scale your business.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a good place to take this segment for now. Let's do this. We'll go to our final break, and in the last couple of minutes, we'll let Patrick talk a little bit about Initiative Labs and Acme and that sort of thing, and we'll do that right after this. Business at Citywatch, the program that takes you through the ins and outs of business. If you'd like to start a business of your own, let us know at 310-291-2790. Tell me a little bit about what do you do? I know you have a book coming out soon. I know that you have Initiative Labs going and an Acme going as well. Tell us, give me the 3-second tour on that. Okay.
Absolutely. So the 3-second tour, I've done a couple of tech startups that added some investment capital, one with venture money and one only with angel money. Witnessed both of those being acquired by publicly traded market leaders in their technology spaces. Spent a little bit of time with a sort of medium-sized financial services company supporting their move from OTC trading to a NASDAQ listing, and mainly focused on some of their internal legal and compliance planning and activities, and then launched Acme and Initiative Labs, and from that work have ended up with this book, The Structure of Success, that basically studies what helps small and medium-sized businesses to succeed. Most of the work that I do is advisory in nature, so rather than trying to serve as an operational consultant, right, day in, day out with organizations, we help to develop strategies, develop approaches, in Initiative Labs, deploy the framework from the Structure of Success book into businesses to help those businesses and their management teams really succeed and thrive and make their own decisions. So our goal is to basically, in all the things that I work on, try to help advise and guide, rather than sort of cooperate, as a lot of folks can end up sort of viewing folks who advise or consult, right? The goal is to help give businesses and their leaders the tools to succeed and allow them to flourish while deploying them.
Okay. And the last seconds, if the people would like to listen to you a bit more and get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, so they can get in touch with me through either the author website, patrickesposito.com, or the Initiative Labs website, initiativelabs.com, or the Acme General Corp website, acmegeneral.com. And, like you said, have the Structure of Success from Inc. Originals, which is supported by the Greenleaf Book Group, launching October 3rd, and it's available for pre-order now through most of your standard online book purchasing platforms. It'll be in stores October 3rd.
All right, great. Listen, Patrick Esposito, Acme Initiative Labs, I thank you so much for being with us on Business at Citywatch.
Thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And for the rest of you who are listening, remember, believe in yourself. If you don't, no one else will. And we will speak with you next time.